Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Money, Real Business podcast. I'm Lauren, and today we have Brandon on the show, who's selling an e-commerce business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. Hey Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Well, I'm really excited to have you on the show, and thank you for taking the time to be here. I'm really looking forward to learning more about you and your business, but before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of it. This is an e-commerce business created in October 2018 in the art and hobbies niches. The average revenue for the business is $214,659 per month, and it makes an average of $43,563 per month in net profit. The assets included with the business are a primary domain and all site content and files, 7 additional domains, a Amazon Seller Central account, an email list with 74,000 subscribers, employee contracts, supplier contracts and relationships, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and TikTok social media accounts, 2 trademarks, an artist-exclusive contracts, over 200 marketing videos, images, and GIFs, an ebook, a Google Business profile with over 200 5-star reviews, a Shopify account, and an Etsy storefront. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to active buyers. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 59007 to learn more about this business. Or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So, Brandon, now let's hear from you. Can you fill us in on your background in starting and running online businesses?
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for the intro again. Definitely sounds like you've done that in the past. All right. So in terms of background in online business, e-commerce and digital marketing, I've been in the space for about 6 years now. I started the traditional dropshipping route, I guess, when I first started. And that ultimately, I guess, unlocked the key to building this current brand for the last few years. So all of the trial and error and the roller coaster ride of dropshipping back in the day is ultimately kind of led to the birth of this current venture and building it from this ground up.
What inspired you to start this particular business?
This particular business, basically, it did stem again from how I used to be in dropshipping. So I don't do any dropshipping anymore. Actually, one of the very first few, I guess you could say, quote unquote, winners that I had when doing dropshipping was this particular niche and this particular product. And so naturally, coming from a dropshipping background, I wanted to take the next logical step, which was basically converting the whole dropshipping business and taking that into a full-fledged brand. And so that's what happened. And we ended up basically going from the ground up, visiting the factories and really building a product from the ground up. And that's basically how we led into this particular brand.
Wonderful. Yeah, it sounds like you've had a great journey so far. What attracted you to the Shopify business model over other e-commerce options?
Again, it really stems from a lot of the dropshipping experience. So I guess 5-6 years ago, the whole Facebook ads and dropshipping from AliExpress business model was extremely popular at that point in time. And, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, everything was a lot, I would say, quite a bit easier than they are nowadays. And so it was quite natural to be using those platforms such as Shopify as well. And so throughout these years of transitioning to actually building a sustainable brand, we've never even thought twice about using Shopify and these platforms because they are truly built exactly for this. So, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. You've certainly come a long way with this business. Why are you selling it now?
Why are we selling it now? That is a good question. Basically, I have some other opportunities in other markets real estate in my home city. And particularly, I have a little bit more, I would say, interest in the whole cryptocurrency and NFT space at this point in time. So that is taking up a little bit more of my current time. And I guess you could say that building this particular brand there's always been the goal of a long-term exit. So that's what we are going for at this point.
Great. Yeah, it certainly sounds like you've got some exciting times ahead of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Looking back over the business's history, what would you say were your biggest wins since starting the business?
The biggest wins for starting the business? Well, there's definitely been certain metrics that I have personally really been trying to improve upon since day one. So it's the first year of running the business was definitely a roller coaster, lots of ups, lots of downs, but definitely, the biggest wins by far has been our year over year growth in retention rate. So in terms of retention so far and repeat customers overall, I think this year, so far year to date, we're at 46%.
Wow.
For 2022, and 2021 was 34%. So we've already done quite a bit of an increase year over year. And from 2020 to 2021, that was also a 60% increase. So yeah, definitely retention focused and really, I guess, putting a lot of our attention to our existing customers and building from there has been very important for us and definitely a key metric that we are super proud of at this point and hope to continue to grow as we go along.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you should be proud of those numbers. They're great. On the flip side of the coin, what was your biggest setback or challenge while building the business?
Setback or challenge? Yeah, again, the first year, especially coming from a dropshipping background and kind of just learning the ropes of how to build a real sustainable brand long term, there are some major stepping stones that you need to take. And specifically, systemizing every step of the way has been a real challenge in terms of, first of all, learning, putting in the time to actually learn, and then aggressively taking action in terms of building out those systems as well. So definitely one of the hardest things, specifically in the first year, is really overextending yourself in terms of expenses and hiring long-term contracts, something that was not a fantastic move on our part. And when I say that, it's more so employees. Yeah, that was definitely a challenge. But without those challenges that we faced in the first year, there's definitely no way we would be at this point right now. So it was a huge learning curve and kind of a blessing in disguise that all those things happen as well, just so that we could really, really learn and hit each of those pain points and again, systemize them and optimize them to the point to where they are now.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon, do you do anything in terms of marketing for this business?
Yeah, I mean, marketing is definitely key to any e-commerce business. Even without paid advertising, we are able to run quite well, just mostly from our big email list and our retention rates. So that is a metric that, definitely helps us when paid traffic isn't going as well. But at the same time, most of our paid traffic coming from Facebook and Instagram, which is our core channel, and coming from a dropshipping background, Facebook ads, Instagram ads has always been something that is key for us. And so, yeah, we do have a senior media buyer and videographer in place for specifically that channel. And we are consistently testing new creatives and optimizing campaigns very, very regularly. So that's one of our main channels. And then we also spend on Google, AdRoll, and Etsy as well.
Wonderful. Yeah, sounds like a pretty diversified strategy there. What would you say are the major opportunities for growth with this business?
There's several avenues for us continuing to be, since with partnerships with artists, we always launching new designs. And so that speaks volumes in terms of how our retention rate has been increasing as well. So there's almost like a cult-like feeling from our customers always wanting new designs from their favorite artists, right? So we're always kind of triple checking our inventory to see which new designs to be launching to our customers as well. So that's one aspect of it. And then basically looking into other paid social traffic as well, which we have not really tapped into. So TikTok, Pinterest is a huge one, which we actually have not really gone into since we are in the kind of arts and hobbies niche. Pinterest is probably something that would be quite good as a paid channel or organic as well. Same with TikTok, as I just said, but also exploring more, kind of conventional channels as well, including, offering wholesale. We've been actually approached by several people for wholesale, but our factory, there's only so much that we can actually produce as well. So we don't want to exactly overwhelm our current factory as well, but being able to offer wholesale and offering our products actually in store in other, crafting stores and stuff like that is definitely something that should be on the table. Running traditional TV ads as well is something that's always been on my mind. Carrying out influencer marketing with kind of craft niche audiences as well, and expanding our licensing as well. So we work directly with artists as well, like as I previously mentioned. So expanding more and more artists and potentially licensing with bigger brands as well. And lastly, we currently fulfill and ship directly from the US. So, having other fulfillment centers outside of the US would definitely be a huge opportunity for not only shipping costs, but shipping speeds for other particular high volume countries.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like there's definitely a lot of potential there. You touched on fulfillment centers. Can you walk me through what your supply chain looks like?
Yeah, so it's quite straightforward. We work with one primary supplier in China for our main product. And then we have a few others in China as well for our accessory products. And basically, we have one, you could say she's our China sourcing agent, and she's really the intermediary between us and these factories. She also will be included in the sale. So, just in case you guys were wondering. And basically, all of our orders go through to the factories, and then everything is shipped by sea or by plane to our two warehouses in the US, one on the East Coast, one on the West, and then we distribute from there.
Wonderful. And how long does it usually take to replenish your inventory?
Yeah, so it kind of depends if we are creating new designs from scratch or if they are going to be restock designs, right? So typically, if it's a restock design, then we are looking at about a 1.5 month lead time, so about 45 days. If we are looking at brand new designs, which we need to build from scratch, you could tack on another 20 days or so. So probably just over 2 months to be creating new designs from scratch. Yeah. And that is if we are shipping by sea. There are times where we will ship some of our accessory products by air, which would be quite a bit faster. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And how often are you in contact with your suppliers?
Fairly often, actually. I mean, we have group chats from our side, and then, of course, our intermediary contact as well with the factory. So we are pretty much in contact almost a daily basis, just depending on the volume that's going on. So, yeah, inventory and keeping up with the supply and demand is definitely a huge thing for us. So, quite a bit of communication with them. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. Sort of with that train of thought, you say you're in contact with them on a daily basis. Can you walk me through what your typical work week looks like? What sort of tasks take up your time on a daily and weekly basis?
Yeah, for sure. So, first of all, when I say we, it's definitely mostly my customer support manager. So, I'm not physically actually too much in the chat. I will see what's going on a higher level, but it's definitely mostly my customer support manager that's always checking in to make sure that everything is okay on their side and on our side as well. When it comes to work required for myself, on average right now, I'm spending about 15 hours per week. So, just over a couple hours a day here, mostly micromanaging the team on a higher level. So, checking in with my customer support manager, and she'll give me a weekly update on all of the major issues or anything like that. The only real task that I've taken on recently is the email campaigns. That's something that I had outsourced to a previous agency, but ended up taking over for the last 2 months. And so that's taking up most of my time right now. So if I actually wanted to remove that again, that would definitely alleviate more hours for myself. But I know I quite enjoy doing it right now. So I'll kind of keep that for now. But everything else at this point is again mostly systemized, right? So as mentioned before, hiring out for pretty much every aspect of how the business runs has been a major part to get it to where it's at right now. So yeah, so basically micromanaging the team and checking email campaigns to make sure everything is lined up and checking into the Facebook ads and paid traffic once in a while. But that's pretty much my daily at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you've put a lot of effort into building out a really efficient team. Can you run me through the team you have in place and what everyone does?
Yeah, absolutely. Systemizing has been definitely key. We have quite a number of staff, but let's see here. We've got one customer support manager. She's the one that basically is my eyes and ears on the ground. We have two other customer support full-time staff as well that are under her. We've got two designers as well. One is more web graphics and one is doing other types of graphic work as well. We've got a senior developer who is always working on the website stuff. We've got one email graphic designer as well. We've got a SEO agency that I've been working with since the beginning. So they're really, really awesome. We've got a US product support person. So basically, when we have any issues with our products that need to be dealt with on the US side, we've got someone in place for that. We've got a senior media buyer and creative manager. So basically, he helps run all of our paid traffic on Facebook and Instagram. We've got a videographer, which is helping actually do all of the creatives for our paid traffic. And then we've got our China kind of sourcing agent that is kind of the middle person between us and all of the factories that we work with. I might be missing one or two, but that's everyone from the list that I have here. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, that sounds like a really robust team. And you also mentioned that you've got a lot of systems in place to help automate the business. With that in mind, what do you think are the biggest challenges that a buyer might face when taking over this business?
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges is really lead times and inventory levels. They definitely need to be closely monitored to ensure, sales aren't negatively impacted, right? So, if certain designs are selling out super quick, we really need to be on the ball to get the factory to be restocking as soon as possible because, our customers are waiting sometimes not very patiently and really want specific designs that we launch as soon as possible. So yeah, that's definitely one of the more bigger challenges is definitely monitoring inventory managing and making sure that we are consistently have the correct stock levels that are optimized for our model.
Yeah, certainly. That's a good shout. In terms of the challenges that a buyer might face, obviously, no one knows this business better than you. How much support are you willing to offer the buyers to help ease that transition?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess it really, really depends on the buyer, right? And how much skill that they already possess in this business model. So if they're coming in and they mostly know the grips of most things and just need to kind of understand certain technical things here and there, then, I'm happy to get on Skype calls, email, or whatever need be. But if it's someone that has less, I guess, background with e-commerce in general, I'm still willing to help as much as possible, really, to get them comfortable with the situation. And it's really hard to put 4 1-hour Skype calls or anything like that, because it's really difficult to know how comfortable the buyer is before we get on these things. So I guess my short answer is however much it will take to get them to feel comfortable.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think buyers will be very grateful for that support. When it comes to negotiating the actual sale of the business, would you be open to something like an earnout?
Yeah, absolutely. Earnouts are completely fine with us. I guess, we would definitely rather a larger lump sum upfront, and we would prefer, an earnout to be non-performance based. I guess that would be our one request, you could say. And we are open also to cryptocurrency as well as being a payment source. And yeah, I would actually also potentially, depending on the buyer as well, I would be open to actually be staying on it as an advisor as well and retain a small share of the business if that's something that is on the table. Yeah.
Great. And would you be willing to commit to a non-compete?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, Brandon, that leads us into the final question of the interview, and probably the most important one, which is, if you had to put yourself into the shoes of a buyer, why do you think your business is a business worth buying?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the growth potential specifically in this niche is really a hidden gem. At this point, especially with COVID and everything like that, I would say most businesses have suffered. Whereas this particular niche, specifically, in the arts and hobbies niche, where it's kind of a stay-at-home type of activity, we have actually gone the exact opposite and have done, quite a bit of growth year over year. And there's still a ton of potential to be tapped into. So yeah, that would be my number one thing, is that this niche is still kind of in its infant stages, I would say. And another would be that we've built it to a point where, again, without paid traffic, we would still be okay with retention alone in our email list. So that's something for us to be proud of. And yeah, I would definitely say those two are big things to keep in mind for new buyers as well.
Fantastic. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners that I might have missed?
I don't think so. That was quite an array of questions. So I think that was pretty much everything. And again, appreciate your time and thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for coming onto the show and giving us a little bit more insight into you and your business. It's been a pleasure, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
Cheers. Take care. Thanks a lot.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 59007. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.